these two movies, I'm like, okay, there's some kind of this kind of relates to me a little bit. These movies relate to me real easy. Let me get something to drink real quick. I'm just it's right there, and then we can get started already. I'm been up for a minute. Let's see. I've been up since 2, so I'm waking up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think I got up at 5:30.
Yeah,
so. Maybe a little bit earlier, but yeah, no, actually maybe like 4:30.
Well, I knew I hadn't watched the movies yet, so I at least got to be up by 5. I want to get this done, and then I put an alarm on for like 5, and then I woke up. I mean, I crashed out like at 9:30, so it's kind of early. But we went to the movies yesterday for the first time.
What'd you go see?
Tom and Jerry.
Nice.
I'm gonna make a review about it, but because well, that's what I want to do. It's brand new, you know. Like you said with Justice League, as soon as it comes out, we get it out there. We're kind of with the time.
Yeah.
So I like that shit. So I'm just do it because I did a review. I did my first review yesterday, but all I could do right now is record, and so I dump all I clear all the memory. Can't really edit. So I'm gonna, you know, I did record a practice, but I'm gonna talk about this movie. There's a movie on Amazon right now that I saw, and holy crap, I thought I was watching an anime.
Mm-hmm.
I was not watching an anime.
What was it?
Have you noticed a title called Robo Vampire on Amazon?
No.
A 1988 movie. It has really no information on it, which is insane. And this. Let me just tell you this. That movie, Robo Vampire, came out in 1988. Robo Vampire number 2 came out in 1987. I have no idea how that works out.
Wait.
There's a sequel, there's some kind of sequel to this movie. The one called Robot Vampire came out in 1988. Mm-hmm. The one called Robot Vampire number 2 came out in 1987. That already tells you, dude.
What?
Dude,
it makes no sense.
It makes no sense to me. Think this movie is like all the genres put in together. It's very low budget. It's kind of rough. He's laughing. I'll tell you that it's called Robo Vampire, man. I'm gonna post a review about it this weekend. It's insane. It's beyond insane. It's like it's a trip, man. It's a I'm calling it a filmmaker's delight. But if you're a regular head, you're not gonna like it whatsoever. You're gonna cringe. This thing has not even a 0 Rotten Tomato from Tomato Meter. It has nothing. Like they don't even acknowledge it. Like I'm like, oh, okay. The critics are way too sensitive for this one. But I saw that one, and Tom and Jerry. I kind of got the fact that yes, one, it was just so cool going with my son, and we had the whole theater to ourselves. But 2 was the whole experience. Tom and Jerry is what Tom and Jerry is. This movie is it kind of has that. Not too much of that Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The only thing it has from that is the people and the animation, the animation are together. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of built for. I feel like it's not really meant for kids, but it is a kids movie more so. It's just man, it's like it's made for like young adults. Mm-hmm. But that movie had me like down. Like if I was gonna give it the side-by-side score, it was at like a 4 or a 3. Mm-hmm. But then the characters, the way they ended it, knocked it up to a 5. So there were parts there where, as like a viewer and a father watching it, I was like, But then when they started, you got to get to the ending. So I could see somebody getting offended and cutting it off because it's kind of a woke movie. But it's not a woke movie because it's filmed in New York, and New York's a very blended city. So there's a bunch of different people. Once again, like Kong versus Godzilla versus Kong, the human element is the harsh part in this movie. It's like the hard part of it. But outside of that, it's not a bad movie. I'm happy. I'm also happy that Michael Peña's in it, even though his character is kind of dumb. They kind of make him the minority kind of in a movie full of minorities. He's the minority guy. And I like that one. I didn't like that part, but I like that he's in it, so I can show my son, like, look, there's a guy in the lead, in a co-star, and he's a brown-skinned brother right there. Look at that. Because I didn't realize how important it is to have these leads. And in watching these 2 movies, that's why I'm segueing my way into this. watching these two movies, I guess we should just get started and then we'll just start talking about this.
Yeah, man, I'm getting it pulled up right now, so I'm kind of just over here
Hey,
in my mode as
whenever you
well.
want to dance, we'll dance.
Good.
And I'm telling you
That's
right now.
that's
What's
what I
up?
have to say to that. It's good.
Let's go. All I'm trying to say is, I am not going to put Beast of Our Nation. What's called?
Yeah, right.
I'm not gonna put that one playing in the background.
Mm-mm.
So I'm sorry. That would. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I guess we're ready to go, huh?
Yeah. So, oh, dude, did you watch Falcon Winter Soldier?
Oh yeah,
The
dude,
the
totally.
wait, did you watch the new episode?
No, not right now. I forgot today's Friday.
Okay,
No, not right now.
but you saw how the last one ended.
Yeah,
Oh, that was nuts.
the Captain America doing the going the court going to remember everybody. Hello, welcome to Side by Side.
Hello,
We're,
hello.
we're talking a little bit Falcon Winter Soldier, so we're having little spoilers going on. We'll bring you in on these spoilers.
Yeah,
Like I said, I haven't seen the episode.
Captain America just knocks the hell out of somebody. That's all the spoilers that you need right there.
All right, all right, all right. Let's get there. Yeah, no, I'll watch it. I let the first two episodes go by, and then I binged then I binged like 1 and 2, and then that was
Mhm.
like on like Wednesday, and then I did the 3, and then now I'm concurrent with it, and it makes a difference when you're kind of watching it as it goes, as it's getting released.
Yeah,
But
you seem to retain it just a little bit better too for some reason.
yeah, it's up for exactly. I guess just you can do put
Well,
something.
I think it's because you can find somebody to talk to about it, and you're like, oh, what's going to happen next? You kind of lose that when you just binge
Ah.
something.
Yeah, because you're just going straight through the motions, and you're just kind
Mhm.
of sitting there, and there's no real time to like talk about it.
Yeah,
I have not done really any research on either of these movies, so we're gonna sink into them, and we're gonna go with you know what I did want to say this Benjamin.
what's up?
We did Idris Elba. Um, the first these movies, one, I don't even know if you understand that they kind of relate to me,
Yeah, a little bit.
but two, they're pretty strong,
Yeah,
pretty hard. And I will say this: we were talking about Idris Elba. We picked two movies, and we kind of just here. Welcome to Side by Side. I'm CJ Robles.
and I've been Garrett. Hello, everybody.
Hello, we're getting this going. Today we're doing Idris Elba. We're gonna pick two of the movies that he's done, and we're gonna talk about him. And the crazy thing about this actor, not the crazy thing, but thing I picked up on is that he's known for more of his character roles, but he also can lead.
Yeah,
And it's like he doesn't it doesn't matter to him if he's whichever role. He looks like he just wants to do it. And I actually know a lot of him from just a lot of his highlights, the stuff he does outside of acting. Like the DJ and the training, the eating healthy, the GQ, anything modeling. I was like, oh, dude, that guy, there he is. American Hustle. I mean, not American Hustle. American Gangster.
Mm.
His role in that movie. He when he plays, I forgot what that guy's name is, but he plays this wise talking, street hustler, like a dealer, and man, like you can't even like really hear his accent or anything. He's what is he, London? Is he British?
yeah. I'm pretty sure he's British. Let me see. Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're gonna go with Idris. Is that correct? Is that how to properly pronounce it?
Well, I don't know. I speak of the Spanish, so you have to help me here.
Oh, okay.
Because the I is the E for me, and the E is an I for me. Why you laugh, my friend? Why you laugh?
Because I don't. An eye is an eye for me. That's why I was laughing. I was like,
an eye
that's
for an
weird.
eye. I see, my friend. No, his name was Tango. He played Tango in American Gangster. No, I mean, Idris. Is that what you want to go with? Because I did say John Favreau, so I've been known for this butchering, but Idris. I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't know how
Well,
not to say it.
We'll go with. What was the other one? What were the two options?
What'd you say, Idris? I know Idris and I. Well, it's because the way it sounds is Idris. How would you say it?
I said Idris.
Yeah, Idris. I'll
or
say that.
Idris? Let's do Idris.
Idris. I don't know. Idris. I
We'll
say
change it up throughout. That way,
you know who we're talking about, but that's who we're talking about. And then he's. I mean, it's a beautiful name.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's short for it over here on Wikipedia, which is a yeah. It says Idrissa.
and you know what? That's cool.
Idris.
That's cool.
Idris. So we'll go with Idris.
Idris. It's cool that you have your Wikipedia of him because I have my Wikipedia open up of him. Like I think this guy does way more stuff than just act, and I think that's pretty cool. Damn, good looking too.
Kickboxer.
He's a good looking guy. So all right, so let's get started. We decided to pick on. Actually, Ben was the one that he kind of guided us into this direction. And dude, not only are these like both like 2015 and up movies, 2015 and 2021, but they're a whole another different like ballpark.
They're both based on books too.
Yes, and that's another.
Whenever the Netflix information was fading away, I did see that on both of them. I thought that was kind of interesting.
And,
But yeah,
and the movies we're talking about are, and they're both on Netflix. Beast of No Nation, 2015. And it's actually, look at this. Remember I told you the other day about, oh no, it wasn't you. I told my other friend. This is a not rated movie. Like the movie Robo Vampire, it's not rated. So Robo Vampire, I just saw that on Amazon. Check it out.
he is British, by the way. Yeah.
British. Cool. So it's a 2 hours and 17 minutes long drama war. It was released October 16th, 2015. A drama based on the experience of Agu, a child soldier fighting in the civil war of an unnamed African country. Director Kerry Joji Fukunaga, and he's a writer as well. And it's based off the book by Uzudinma Iwala. So it's based off a book, man. This movie, let me just tell you, this God, what's it called? God Forgives prepared me for this movie because I think that's one of the harshest movies I've seen in a while. And this movie was kind of a breeze compared to that movie for me. Really? So I was able to watch this and be like, okay, I can kind of see what's going on. You know what I did want to start off with, what are your thoughts about this movie? Because I just need to know. Like I was thinking, what would Ben think about that? What does Ben think about this?
Man, so this movie, Beast of No Nations, it was it was crazy just how it was done because you have him starting off as just like a mild-mannered kid, you know, nothing too crazy, going around, you know, doing a little hustle with his friends and trying to make some money so they can go and do stuff, you know. Nothing too crazy, and then it just escalates more and more and more. And then you sort of get resolution just a little bit, but you know, you have a kid that's lived a lifetime, you know. it's crazy. Dude. You know, he even says it himself, like what was it, she's a little girl and I'm a man, you know, kind of thing. So it's like you said, man, it's kind of a hard movie to watch for sure, but it's a very good watch. And yeah, man, that whole scene where was it the commandant brings him into his room and everything, like I had to go in Wikipedia. I was like, dude, did that just happen? Like I was like,
oh dude, I caught on to it.
I was like, what happened? And I was like, no, and I had to like go and double check. I was like, wow, that is crazy, dude.
What was his friend's name? I forgot it already. Sanka? Strika. So did you not catch it when Strika went up there?
No.
You didn't catch that at all? Dude, I saw as soon as I saw like, oh god, that's gonna happen because that and also you're seeing it through the point of view of the boy who kind of goes through this whole kind of betrayal. I mean, this whole like man thing, kind of like a tribe thing almost in a way. He's played by Abraham Ada. Dude, he does it. At one point I was like, I feel like I was watching a documentary with him. His acting is so like real. Yeah, it's. I was amazed. I was like, dude, it sucked me in. But yes, so Idris is he's more the I don't know what he is in this movie. What you would really count him? He's just but he's not the main star. But when he's in it, he's one of the supporting roles. But he's a big supporting in this role because this movie is 2 hours and 14 minutes long.
Yeah.
I am actually playing it in the background because I think I do need to like. This is one of those movies like it falls under Lord of the Flies for me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see Lord of the Flies?
Yeah.
I can never watch that movie again. I can only, that's a one and done. I'm happy I saw it, but it's so hard for me to watch that movie. And I think it's because you having that tough childhood and having that just that kind of like I'm like, oh, I don't want to go back there too much. This one brought me there, but it did it artistically. But it's kind of it's not gross. It's real. And then the character that what's his he just plays, his name is the commandant.
Yeah.
And he's not like the commandant I grew up with, Commandant Lassard from Police Academy. This is a different one, but he's like a silverback in this, man. Like he's a man of war, and he's kind of shows you how he's kind of like the guerrilla war tactics they use, and it's kind of insane. This is the thing about this movie, the way it starts. Remember, with a lot of spoilers. The thing about this movie, it starts off kind of happy.
Yeah,
they're looking through that TV, and it's beautiful because being raised in Mexico, like like I'm American Mexican, I'm a Mexican American, so I go back and forth. But I spent a lot of time in Mexico. Like when you're over there, you got to make things up. Imagination is the key to not to beat boredom. But I do like the way it shows him with his friends and he's hanging out, and even he took a risk and took the TV so they can go have fun and then go do something. And it's a hard time for them. I even like the 3D. The kid pops out of the they're very creative, and there's one thing is when he's actually about to the thing happens with him with the commandant. It's like the only time there's a TV there. You notice that there's not really any more other TVs in this movie. But then, like to me, it's like in time of war, you don't have time to sit down and watch. You don't have the luxury, you don't have the leisure. Not even just war, just survival. There's no running water. There's no, he has to run into the bushes, and then the jungle's gonna eat him. So it's like this movie is very, very real, but in a very articulate way. I was expecting a lot more graphic in certain areas, what I didn't get. But man, it sucks, dude. Like his dad's like his brother and his father get shot down. His mother and his sister get taken away from him. He gets abused. He gets beat up. So let me ask you this, my friend.
He's killed people.
He's killed people. Let me ask you this. When's the first time you went to a bar? How old were you? Whether you were 18, 20, or 12 or whatever.
Yeah, no, I was 18.
You're 18 when, all right, so that's still, I think.
To my knowledge. Actually, does the VFW count?
That counts. I'll count it, dude. That's like I count it as a bar there.
I'm pretty sure I've been to a VFW. Yeah.
So
whenever I was younger, I couldn't tell you what age, but I do.
Oh, but you weren't
shuffleboard and stuff.
Okay,
like that.
okay.
But I didn't know I was at a bar.
Okay, because Dave and Buster's could kind of be counted as a bar in that aspect because there's alcohol.
Yeah,
but there's not a real bar. But what was I saying is because dude, growing up on the border, we joke around about this a lot, and I was like, man, we do joke around about this a lot. Like at 15, we already started going. Some go at like 12, 13. We started going to the bars, start hanging out, start drinking. So there is like a real like adultness to it in a way because it's not a safe environment. But if you built for it, if you adapt to it, you can sustain. We always laugh when I have conversations with my friends about once we used to party all the time, and then we were like, I was like, yeah, I've been. Like we talk about when you retire from going to the bars, like when you retire, because by the time I was 21, 22, I was meeting people that were like 23, 24 that had never been out to the bar, and then they were excited to go, and I was already like, man, kind of burnt out, but like it's all you really know because when you grow up like that, but it's also like by the time I was like closer to, that's why it was easy for me to be like, I'll step away from this like a little before I turned 30 because I was like, I've been doing this for a while. And it's time to settle down. But we always laugh because like, how old was the oldest person like 26, never been to a bar before. We're like, what? But that's how it is for where from. We hang out. It's right there. It used to be, what are you doing? It used to be so sorry. We got a toddler on the loose, so we're gonna have some distractions. He just threw a ball at me. I think you might have heard it. Remember, time passes, and as it does, things tend to grow. And now my guy is running, climbing, jumping, talking, making a mess. So for this podcast. I apologize, but yeah, that's how it's gonna be for this one. Um, but you know, when you kind of grow up a little bit, and I love that they said that the ending of this movie, the ending of this movie, just it was. I was like, thank you. It was like a little sweet kiss. Like I needed to end that way for me because you go through this grind, and I just finished watching Robo Vampire 2 days ago, so I still had that in my head. And as you're going through, you go through these grinds, man, and then you realize like just kind of there'd be a nice little payoff at the end, and the way it ended, I mean, come on, man, you got Preacher freaking out, like he wants
Yeah.
to be the new commandant, and these are like role models too in a way.
Well, and like that's all I knew, man. Like that's he was like this can't be real. This is fake. You know.
It's really hard to describe this movie for anyone listening because it's just it's deep, it's
Yeah.
it's really strong. It's moving. There's really no funniness to it. You can't. It's hard. It's really like trying to squeeze a lot of juice out of an olive oil and expecting like 8 gallons, and you're gonna get a little squirt. It's like, man, it's a lot. There's the way the brother died and the father died. It hurt. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh god, now we're going this way.
And
Because remember,
Striker too, man. That one because I was
man,
like he was close. There was like another brother to him. And then
well, the thing
just,
is, Striker, he was tough, man.
yeah.
He got shot. You see him touching it, and man, sorry, we're all over the place. This movie is very, very, very,
Yeah.
very hard and emotional. But Striker, he's quiet. You know why he's quiet? That's why, did you pick up? That's why Striker's quiet because he's
Yeah.
getting, by the guy in charge. But I like these little hustles they do, man. My I used to see these in Acuña all the time, and my grandmother and my tias, they show me the stuff, and they tell me about, look at this, look at that. When I was younger, it is funny. My son is already becoming a negotiation artist. So I know he gets that from my grandmother and mom. That lady, that older lady, that part pisses me off too, because they knew they knew to pick her so she can kill that. They kill him. Like the dad's an educator, man. He's like a leader, and they show him like kind of a leader in his own regard. It's kind of like gunning down MLK like right in front of you, like. There's like a guy that's out there making an effort, and that's another thing. He is educated. Aju or Agu, how would you say his name?
Agu.
Agu.
Yeah.
He's educated, and he's it's like you don't want to see a mind wasted, and then but he goes like a 180 though. Kind of first goes through a 360, then he goes through a 180, and he kind of figures out that like, nah, this is where I need to be, because even when what's his name, 2IC or
Yeah, 2IC.
2IC, like he was like the scout. He was like the soldier boy. Like he was like the
So earlier, whenever he came in and said he's dead, and then you see him later on, that kind of threw me off. I was like, did he die? I guess
okay.
he
So
didn't die.
the only thing I gathered from that is that Agu lied. Because they bring up his name again at the end of the, because he says he's dead, and then they bring up his name again.
Yeah. Well,
So
no, he was standing there like, "Hey, we're leaving." Like,
That's him,
whenever-
right?
Yeah. I mean, it was the same actor and everything. It wasn't like, because I was thinking, well, 2IC second in command.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, does that mean that the next person is 2IC? But it looked to be the same actor. I don't think there was another.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I think we're on the same page. But do you see what he did to him though? What the commandant did to him?
Yeah.
That's
It's like, and get him good, and
Yeah.
just making it so obvious and everything. He knew what was going on.
Yeah, and
too.
it's like, dude, welcome to a third world country, brother. Like that, and that's why America has laws, but they don't work for all of us apparently. Some people do collect $200 and they do get to go on, but that whole part, like there's a lot of little things that reminded me of my upbringing, just being in Mexico, but not like that. Like that's real
Yeah.
harsh, man. That's like, even at that, I'm just like, oh, I would take showers with a water hose. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like
dude, it's just crazy, man. Just like, oof. What was it, the first time he'd killed somebody was with the machete? Just-
con el
yeah.
machete, man. You got him in the dude, and then they showed that. So that's what kind of like, after they stopped showing stuff after that, but they showed that, and I was like, oh, it's just gonna get worse from here. This joyride or whatever, it's gonna get worse. See, and that, man, I'm sorry, I'm watching it, and the brother, he's trying to. They're trying to. This is what messes me up about this movie. They're trying to show that they're trying to make it,
Yeah.
and this is what happens. This is kind of like Anne Frank's diary. I would think like a modern day, if it's a book, told a story, not with the fact with the diary part, but the telling of the story, because this does
Hello,
exist.
hello.
Can you hear me? Hello? Oh no, I lost Ben. I could hear you. I can hear you clicking. Let's see. Let's see. I lost Ben. Let's see. Oh, I'm just here on my own. Let me pause it real quick. All right, let's see what's going on. That worked. All right,
Yep.
sorry, we had a little technical difficulty, but we're back. All right, I am now at the part that I was dreading to watch, the father and the son, his brother getting shot.
Yeah.
Um, you know, when we get to the scoring of this movie, I think you'll like what I have to say about it. But all in all, just watching this grind, it really, I will say that it really lets you, it should put you in perspective that this is go on around the world, and there's nothing we can do about it. This is, even at the part where, like, I guess the politician, as getting rid of or telling the commandant that he's no longer in charge, and it's a 2IC,
Yeah.
which is a really good name. When he tells them that, like, that's when you know it's gonna go crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's a new war now, because it's not. I mean, they make him wait all day. That shows you what they think about him. And all these dudes in the suits now are coming in because their war went public, so now they can make money off it. That's that, and that to me, it's like this is a new war. That's why they call it the Cold War. We're gonna fight, but we're just not gonna hit each other. We're gonna more chess.
See,
But
I'm glad we're talking about this, man, because you're breaking it down. Because I'm just like, I get all the emotional scenes and everything like that, but just like little nuances, man. I think I missed them on this one. The Concrete Cowboy, I think I picked up on a few,
oh, this
but yeah,
one,
man.
this one,
I don't think you hadn't seen either one of these either, right?
nah, it was the first time for me.
So yeah, I was just like trying to soak it in and trying to, you know, get into it and stuff like that. But
The grandpa gets shot too, right here when the dad gets shot, right?
yeah,
Okay, I don't remember seeing. Man, I'm a big old softy nowadays with certain things, man, because I'll cringe a little bit, when I see it coming. You can kind of, we're filmmakers, we can kind of see what's coming. I just don't understand why the dad doesn't run, man. But they still get a brother, anyways. I don't know. It's just like it's such a. This is a real movie. There's as artistic as you want to make this movie. There's a grossness to it. I mean, like I pick up a lot on the children. How children are so impressionable. You're gonna get a child to do anything.
oh yeah,
And also in spoiler for Robo Vampire, there's a scene like this with a child, like that, because they have, in the guerrilla warfare, they do use their kids for tactical defense, or and they'll like, who's gonna shoot a child walking up to you with a grenade? Kid, the
yeah,
child doesn't know any better. Go give this to that man. And it's adults, man. And this is one of the one things that really gets me is, like, adults suck. These are grown-ups. Why can't we talk? I'm not saying specific, but like specifically this area. I'm just talking in general, like anything. Why do we gotta get like that? And I think that's what, like, the 2020 and 2021 and beyond is a little bit more diplomatic, like this way, and we don't need to be so handsy. But that's not to say I still train, so you got to be prepared. But
yeah,
it's weird how, like, not weird, I'm sorry, I don't want to use that word, but to me, it's like I have a understanding that this does go around, and it is harsh. But when you see it like this, it really gut wrenches you, where it just grabs you, and it's like, come here, look at this. And it's like we talking about a Striker, like
mm-hmm.
you really fall for Striker in this movie, and then he goes out, and you're just like, what? What? And I didn't even think about it. You said it right now. You're so close. I was like, yeah, he was so close. Because
Yeah,
when he died, I was like, damn it, your best friend dies. Look at that. You lose your mom, your sister, your dad, your brother, and your best friend, and your other best friend, because he lost his other best friend from the beginning, who looked a lot like Striker.
yeah,
And so this is a hurt movie. I mean, I love when he says that I'm a man and you're a woman and you're a kid, and it's like, he's the opposite in reality. Okay, you want to hold the fort for 2 seconds?
yeah. Go for it. No, Beast from No Nations, man. What a crazy movie. Uh, you'd like to say fantastic, but that is the it is definitely not a fantastic movie. Uh, very sad, very real, like CJ said. But man alive, it will, yeah, gut wrenching. You see a lot of stuff that you don't want to see, but I mean, it like I said, it happens. It's part of the world, and thank goodness we haven't seen anything like that uh, in our own lives. At least I hope so. Uh, and I was just saying, kind of reiterating what you were saying, that man, this is just a kind of a gut wrenching movie, and man, how we really hadn't had to deal with anything like that, that real in our own lives,
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I not like war with guns and
Yeah,
shit. Like that's different, man. At least I mean, in Mexico, I don't know, on my part, I'm more American, and then we are, because Mexico City is completely different than La Frontera, than the border, and other pueblos there. But just kind of just getting the feel for all the greenery, all the technology is. You can't really date this movie.
yeah,
There's nothing here that
no,
that lets me believe it could be from the 70s, from the 80s, and 90s, and now. Because when man, with just war, I just realized I just proved to myself that with war there is money, and I've been hearing that a lot. I'm a George Carlin listener,
yeah,
so I'm an avid Carlin guy, and he talks about how when he breaks it down about war, and man, he makes a joke about it, but man, there's a lot of like truth behind all that what he's saying. Um, and so this is a true story, right?
I don't know if it is. Like I said, I know it's based off a novel. It was probably I don't. It never gave an actual location, so
Yeah.
uh, but I can. You have to imagine stuff like this is going on.
That's the thing that sucks, man. It says it right there, right here on the Wikipedia. It says it follows a young boy who becomes a child soldier as his country experiences a horrific civil war. Freaking civil war, man. Like that's just like that's me versus me kind of me for like neighbor versus
Hmm.
neighbor kind of stuff. So it's I don't know. We should be actually trying to fight aliens and not illegal aliens. I'm playing. I don't know. Just get together. Let's see. I want to know more and more about this film because it is a Netflix film, right? But it came out
Yeah,
in 2015, so it did get the cycles. Damn. This thing, the man, $6 million was the budget for this movie,
yeah.
and it racked in. Oh, sorry.
This
Sorry. I thought it was 90 million. It's 90,000.
90,000. Yeah,
I
no,
was like,
because
damn.
this had like a limited release. I think it was at like some of the film festivals, stuff like that. But
When is like ever since Idiocracy, I'm like, when is the Red Box Festival? It's like, man, a lot of these commercials, man. So that aside, a lot of these commercials are making me feel like that if you don't smoke, what's it called, Charleston's, you're fu. Like, Charleston cigarettes, fu. It's like, man. Let's see. On the Wikipedia page, there's quite a little bit of information on here. Let me see what's on the IMDb. See if we get any trivia because I mean, the more and more I watch this movie, the more like I understood that helicopter. I knew that helicopter can like I was like, when is that scene gonna come over? They show the helicopter taking like kicking ass because as much as they have like that, what do you call it, the 50 cal, the AK-47s and the RPGs, you ain't gonna take down no helicopter. It shows you how fast that helicopter is too.
hmm
So now that being said, was the helicopter sent by their government, their own people?
yeah, I think it was sent by the NDF for sure. I
Yeah.
think they were
Okay.
trying to, because I think, yeah, you kind of see it because they were trying to stop like an uprising and everything.
Now, do you think the commandant? Do you think he did that? What he did to Strika and Agu? Do you think he did that to all the children, or did he say only special ones? Right?
Possibly, I think he saw something in himself that he did as a kid. It may also be because he said
Ah.
he saw him as a leader, so it may also be like to kind of put you in your place, make in the most. Uh, that's my best guess.
Yeah.
In the most in the worst way possible is to like show you where you're at in in the line of things.
Yeah.
Um,
What
I don't know, man. You know, another scene that kind of got me too is whenever he thinks that woman is his mother,
oh god, that was
and
deep.
then he comes out of it, and then he's like, "You're a witch woman," you
Yeah.
know, and he totally turns, you know,
Th-
especially, and then eventually he kills her.
we
Uh,
what did you think he kills her? Okay, so when he kills her, do you think he kills her to release her from her suffering? To or is it because he's a I know he's a junkie. That's kind of crazy. He's a kid, like a young boy, a junkie,
yeah,
because he's hallucinating. So do you think it was a hallucination and he killed her, or do you think he killed her because he was getting her out of her suffering? Because he was like, I want this girl. You know, it was like, you know her? Do you know her? Like he wasn't gonna do it, or he was still gonna do it. I don't know. That just soldiers kind of any kind of militant. They
yeah.
you can't just suppress all that stuff.
That's I don't know, man. I think it might have been out of mercy, but who knows?
I totally just went with that. I was like, that was my first. I was like, I think he just killed her because he didn't want to.
He is, you know, at heart a good kid, so that is a very very real possibility. But then he goes and kicks that little girl too. You know, whenever Stryker's kicking her, and
Yo, because he tells him like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's
you know, and so it's like I said, he even says at the end, like, I've done terrible things, I've seen terrible things. You think I was the devil, things that I've done, you know.
yeah.
But I mean, you see it whenever they're out there, whenever they're trying to take back that village and everything, and you know, they're standing there and they're getting shot and stuff, and they're not moving, they're not flinching, dude. They're not
God,
afraid of death.
yes, that was a good scene, man, because they're used to it.
Yeah, you know,
Or
just
even
bullets flying by, and then he
what?
sees that one right in front of him ducks, and like if he hadn't, he would have been dead.
Well, he just squat down. It wasn't like he ducked on purpose. Like he
Yeah,
just
no.
something fell, and I guess a smack or something
Well,
fell.
he saw a casing, like,
Yeah,
or a bullet coming
but
at him.
yeah, and he did that because it gets you. It leads you to believe that you actually at this point where the commandant meets Agu, you think he's going to train him to be this warrior and he's going to be this grateful man. But it's 2020, it's 2021. We know it's not going to happen. This is going to be the real story, And
Yeah,
the real story is, yeah, there's a lot of shit that goes on like that. And I mean, even the commandant, you start to see all his weaknesses because I mean, that's why I love that he's not introduced into this movie until 30 minutes into it, 30, 40,
hmm
because he's in there when he's in there, he's in there, but when he's gone, he's gone. And he's only in the, like that chunk part. I wanted to say, I think it was this one when I finished watching it, or as I was watching it, I was like, this movie reminds me of the film industry. Like, you start off here, then you work your way up, and eventually someone's gonna be like, "Hey, come here, let's do some drugs and touch me." I was like, "Yeah," and that's why CJ still is at the bottom. It's like, no, I'm sorry, I don't do that. I just yeah, I'm gonna go away. Y'all go keep doing that. I'm gonna go learn to make my own movies. It's like, and I was watching this, I was like, damn, like you start at the bottom, now we're here, but I don't want to go there.
yeah.
It did remind me like kind of like that kind of politics too, because that old lady coming out and they're saying, well, that one, and then the people, I guess the prostitutes or something, whatever they were, getting shot,
Oh yeah,
like that
because
whole,
I mean, the commandant was trying to
and he killed
covers his
them.
tracks. Yeah,
Yeah, he killed them. You can't, like, to me, like that's it's a little. That's what I was saying. What would Harvey Weinstein do? Like, can I take everybody out with him? That's what kind of how I was kind of looking at it, just jokingly, but yeah. So I just the way they do the details, the way they do this, the way they have everything kind of just makes sense to me. The way they carry the guns, the way there is kind of like a death, like the presence in this whole movie, but it comes at you. It reminds me of what's the one called with Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas, the Ghost of Shadows, or Shadows of the Lion movie where they're in Africa, because
oh
Shadows in the, oh no, I gotta look it up. Ghost of Shadows or something like that. Which I did see
yeah,
Ghost of Mars the other day, which is a pretty
I know
decent
what you're
movie.
talking about.
Yeah, that
Ghost of the, yeah.
because that movie, what do you call it? That movie has a when the lions attack, they what do you call it? You don't really know, and so you kind of have to, while you're watching it, and it's not as harsh as this one, but as you're watching it, you're like waiting for something to die, and you're like, oh, nothing dies, and then all of a sudden someone dies, so you're like, oh, okay. So it's a Ghost Shadows, or I'll look it up later. But now that kind of reminded me of that movie. Damn, what part at what part did you watch this movie and you're like, okay, I
The
need to
ghost in the darkness.
Ghost in the Darkness? There you go, that one. At what part in this movie did you watch it there and you were like, okay, I'm in for a bumpy ride? When did you, right from the beginning, or part.
Yeah, I kind of knew going in. I had seen trailers for this movie way back whenever it came out. It'd been one that I was kind of wanting to watch, but just never kind of got around to it. Um, back in the day, because what was it, 2015? So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't doing a whole lot back then besides watching The Office. That was and guess who's in that? Uh,
uh, Idris Elba.
yep, you got it, Charles Minor, man. Uh,
He's funny as that guy because he's like,
Minor, barely know her. But
because I like his character though because he's like the head guy, but even he's not like he's in charge, but there's all these idiots around him. So it's like, what can you do? Like,
oh, dude, it's yeah, he is great in that show. Um,
he really he when he comes in, he gives it a different element. Like the
yeah,
show was able to float a little bit more because he has like because he's like he has his serious persona. I mean, he's a DJ, you know.
yeah,
I don't have a lot you know, not too much love for laptop DJs, but I mean, he's in there playing like the DJs that actually play, you know. I seen some videos of him playing like DJing. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
what's even crazy, man, is like in The Office, he uh he doesn't seem like his normal character, like he's he has glasses on, looks dapper and everything. I mean, not to say these two movies are his normal character or
No,
anything
but I know
like
you're
that,
saying
but
that.
you know what I'm saying? Just like he looked different. He didn't look like himself.
Also because the suit's not fitted. He usually wears a fitted suit. Those suits are like blocky, like businessman
Yeah,
suits. Like
exactly.
so that's how you kind of take someone with a serious look like that and kind of make them a little bit playful in a playful world, but still keep them serious. Because yeah, he does a good job there.
Yeah, I mean, I
Uh,
think that was what in like 2006 or so.
oh
Like,
yeah,
or
he's been a
no, 2000 like 8. Never mind. Excuse me.
well. Let's see where we at right now because I just been letting the movie play and I didn't really pay attention to it. Oh, I'm getting calls. Somebody needs help. Somebody's in the other room telling me they need your help, Dad. Let's see real quick. So yeah, we're really going on 30 minutes. Um, let's see. I didn't start the timer right, so I'm going by the timer on the movie. Like I like the training. I like showing that. But like I think like, did you ever do Boy Scout or
No, I never did anything like that. But I mean, they're just some things I picked up
yeah?
over.
Because
Yeah,
even when he's by himself, he finds that little cat hut, and I thought that was gonna be it. See, that's the thing I love about this movie. It keeps you moving, like you don't stand still. And
yeah,
even when the part where you think they're gonna stand still, even the characters say, "We're not staying here anymore. We're moving on. We're burning everything. We're going." So I really like that he found that hut. I thought and he even tried to start a fire. Like he's aware of it, but I was wondering where this. I didn't watch the trailer. I had no idea what this movie was about. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say. When they actually take the bridge scene, did
hmm
you catch that whole like sequence? The commandant never carries a gun.
mm,
You know how crazy that is? That's an old school war technique, man. Like
yeah.
the
I
what is
didn't notice that. That is pretty crazy,
he
though.
just has like he has like a he all he has so much confidence in his men that he has like a some kind of spiritual or some good luck charm. That's all he has. He pulls out a gun at the end when his men turn on him. That's it. But
Yeah,
outside of that, like he never shoots a gun.
mm,
I thought that was such a cool scene where he's just running and he's not even hiding. He's like guiding them and they're taking the bridge. So I feel like influence is really good amongst people if you can find the right influencer or get them going. But you know, oh, what's wrong, pal? Sorry, I'm gonna let you. Sorry, this is gonna happen. Can't take the fort.
are
Sorry.
you good, man? No, yeah, that whole scene where they're taking the bridge is just crazy. Uh, let's see here. If I can't get Netflix going on my end, just to kind of give me an idea of where we're at. But yeah, no, this is a very, like I said again, a very real movie. It's so it's also based off of a book, and the author of that book is ooh, you know, just look up Beast of No Nations. I'm not going to try to butcher that name. But he is from Nigeria. He's a Nigerian American. He wrote this book in 2005. Let's see here. About a West African boy named Agu, becomes a child soldier. I mean, I want to think whenever I was reading in the trivia and all of that, that they stuck pretty close to the script on this movie as far as, let's see, got a character named Rambo in there that we didn't have in the movie. Placement Rambo, Bloodthirst, interesting. Justice. Would like to be a doctor and saves lives, redeems a sin, evil diseases commit during war. Okay, yeah, no, that sounds pretty spot on actually. Um, but yeah, CJ is back.
Sorry, we're learning dinosaurs, and yeah, he's starting. His favorite one is Ankylosaurus because he can say Ankylosaurus.
There you go.
But not unlike the jungles of the Jurassic. Oh, he can say Jurassic Park now. That's one of his favorite words to say. Two words actually. One of his favorite titles. I was saying about the influence and how you know, not just my culture, but just having someone to look up to, and having like not even just like a father figure, but that father figure, that having to find that void sometimes is works with having like a band of brothers. But I don't ever get this with these guys. Like I never get that they're there. I feel like these are a bunch of individuals that are still together, and they're kind of just listening to each other. I don't really get that they're like Saving Private Ryan. You understand people's names. You see who's who and whatnot, and you get when they die, you kind of like, oh shit, that guy dies. And this one, yeah, they got one guy that sticks out real bad. The dude with the machine gun with the bullets and the speedo or the thong, like that goes to war in that. Like that guy sticks out. Even then, the only thing that kills him is the helicopter.
Yeah,
like that's insane. Then you have I guess who would you say? You have Stryka, you have Preacher, the Commandant, Agu, what's his name? IC. I already forgot it.
I 2IC.
2IC.
Yeah.
You have him. There's a few characters, and so movies like this, you tend to see them go. Did this get in? I mean, get them going. You have a connection, but this one is. I get the feeling that they're a bunch of like individuals still. But
Yeah.
was this Oscar nominated or anything?
Let's see here. I don't know if okay, no, that's Goose Trivia. I'm so used to looking at this on my phone. I don't know where the awards are.
Well, I got this. It says Kerry Fukunaga cast real former child soldiers and members of the various factions from the Sierra Leone and Liberian Civil War, such as the Liberian. Is I'm saying that word right? Armed Forces.
What are you looking on?
Trivia on IMDb.
Let's see here.
And so we actually got real ex-child soldiers.
It was shot in Ghana. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And I think I read 35 days in Ghana. That's a quick turnaround for something like this, and they had explosions, so they probably shot those scenes first, I guess.
Liberian Civil War.
Yeah, Liberia. Yeah. So it's like Libya, or is that what?
Liberia.
Liberia. So let's see. Yeah, dude, there's quite a few information on this. But let's see.
Oh, he got malaria while he was over there in Ghana. That's crazy.
God, that'd be terrifying. It's nominated for one Golden Globe, and it has, because this does have kind of like Oscar. I think it should have had some kind of Oscar hype, but I think it might be too real for the critics' concession.
Okay, so it was nominated for a BAFTA. So, and then due to the Academy's years-long bias.
Okay, well, what's a BAFTA?
Film received no off. It's like the British Oscars.
Okay.
And it received no Oscar nominations. It wasn't until Mudbound that non-documentary streaming film, also Netflix, received any nominations in major categories or any category for that matter at the Academy Awards. So it wasn't until 2 years later that they were even able to. Yeah, isn't that crazy, man?
Excuse me, Benjamin. Did you just tell me that we're going to allow streaming services at the Academy Awards? I believe
Right.
not.
How are they real movies?
They're
Right.
not. We don't make them the same.
Um.
How am I supposed to enjoy my $85 a bite caviar? By the way, caviar it tastes gross by itself, but when you add all the other stuff, it ain't too bad. It's like you add all the cheap stuff, makes it taste real good. But that is kind of like this is a Netflix movie, so I don't
Yeah.
think there's a
So
DVD about this.
I mean, I'm sure they do have DVDs. I mean, they do release their stuff
Oh, that's
on
true.
Blu-ray, and I've seen like Stranger Things and stuff. I don't know if that's specific to their uh,
Marketing or whatever.
oh
So
well, their yeah, true. Like Stranger Things would sell. People are going to go out and buy that if they want to have it in
yeah,
their collection, stuff like that. But Beast of No Nation, I'm not too sure. Um,
if I would have seen I'm looking at the movie poster right now. If I would have seen this, it would have kind of not ruined it for me, but would have gave me a way more different perspective of this movie, or already knowing, because it's super simple. It says child, captive, killer, and then it shows the boy Agu with the bullets around his neck, and then he has all this shrubbery on him. Then I would have known it would have been known about it. It was about a boy that was going to be like a guerrilla warrior or soldier or soldado. Like in Acuna, we have transitos, and then or back then when I was there, I don't know anymore. And the soldados. Now transitos are like mall cops, kind of security guards. You can like walk away from them, or we did. I don't know if you're supposed to, but but when the soldiers show up, they show up with the machine guns. They show up they show up to show you like, hey, we're here. Like, don't forget. I've never actually seen anything like crazy like that where they like some pull out a gun or someone. I've seen some people get arrested. Like they knew there was a guy that they needed to go and get. So they'd be like, like what 16, 17 at a bar, and they're at the Corona Club, and they'd be like, hey, the older dudes from Acuna would be like, hey, sit down and wait till these guys get out of here and don't talk. I'm like, okay. And then sure enough, they go grab a guy and they pull him. And he doesn't even fight. He just goes with them, and they're like, yep, this guy was breaking the law, and he thought he could hide in here, and they caught him. So,
Damn.
bro, I don't know what laws he was breaking, but he was doing something. But it did remind me a lot of that aspect where there's like they're supposed to be supposed to be having a good time and relaxing, and then there's this element there of seriousness, and that's it. And you got to watch out. And that, to me, what I'm trying to say was with this movie, that element is 24/7. Like
Yeah.
you remember in Apocalypse Now when you think that the guy's gonna get shot by like by a dude on the other side, but it turns out to be a tiger.
Mhm.
Like that twist that gets you. I was waiting for something like that in this damn movie. I was waiting for like some object to just come in and just take out Agu. Like I was like, he probably dies, man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's how this was going to end too. I didn't see it, especially he was in the trench and he was like, "We're out of bullets. Do you have any bullets? You're just looking for bullets." I was just like, "Oh, this is not going to end well."
Did you get that though? Yeah, when they lost, yeah, that's what mine went there too. But did you get the fact that when they lost their bullets, they lost their power?
Yeah.
So they needed the guns to make them feel strong. Like this kind of like gang mentality too, man. A lot of that stuff's he does a good job of training these kids and getting them up and at it, but it's like
He had no resources, man.
no resources.
That's all he was looking for too. Remember, he was just like, "Oh, what resources can we get? That's what am I going to get?"
And then
And I think that was another thing too, is because he's in charge of all these kids, and he thinks he's in charge, and there's no real, he, what the political leader says, was it that a good blow? He's like, remember, you're a soldier. Your job is obedience. First obedience, second obedience, all this other stuff.
All time obedience.
Yeah, and it's hard to fight for somebody that just wants you to do exactly what they say. Especially when you have your own idea of what's good and bad. Because there was one village that they went and saved, and another village that they just like completely decimated, man. Like they went through and just killed everybody.
I think they made it seem, and that's the thing. Like I think they made it seem like they were going to save them, but they were just going to, because they had to fight them anyway. So they're just like, we'll do it. But I'm like, I think you have to be there anyways. Even the techniques. So the tree in the beginning where they put the tree on the to get in that guy's way, and then he gives them like change so they can move the tree.
Mhm.
This happens again, but they use it when they that scene where he's about to cut into that guy's head because they get those people. They use those strip of spikes. The stripe. They put those on there, so it's kind of like the tree. And that dude with the RPG, he just yelling every time. Like that's like his move. He just comes out and yells and pulls the trigger. God, this is now going around like watching it like this where I don't actually have to focus. It's a little bit easier. But when you have to like sit there and watch the scenes and watch everything play out, it's getting rough, man. Um, this movie's pretty rough. Like it's not like the other one, the Only God Forgives. That one, those choices were kind of like okay. And then this is
Yeah.
another third world movie. So and Robot Vampire was
Well,
was a
and
dope movie.
and you know, like you said, choices. I mean, oh God, what was Ryan Gosling's guy's name in that? I can't remember. Um.
Or go keep going. I'll look it up. Keep going.
Anyway,
Gabe, Julian.
Julian, yeah, like he did have choices eventually, but he was, I feel like he kind of had the same thing. Like he was caught in what was going on in his life, and it seemed to be very heavily implied that his mother, was using him and his brother for sex, and that was it's just crazy, dude. And
Yeah, because that's all. See, that's another like civil war. It's a family turning on itself.
yeah, and so you're kind of shaped by what's going on around you. Like if you're always surrounded by war, you're going to learn how to war. I mean, you know you're either going to be prey or predator, man. We watch Judge Mathis all the time, and he talks about that. Like he's like, whenever I was growing up, you prey or predator, and I wasn't about either somebody's going to steal your shoes or you got to steal somebody's shoes. And that's you see that a lot in this movie, where he's sad, but he's everything is just constantly in motion, and it's hard to actually process. It's not until the end that he actually has to sit down and process everything. And he
Yeah.
doesn't want to, man. He doesn't want to sit there and go over everything again. He's like, this life is too happy. He's like, it is almost like that soldier mentality. Like I did what I had to do. I don't want to talk about it.
I mean,
Um,
I,
just move on.
even the commandant was like, "Where's my cut?" Like he's like, "Well, for my," he was aware of that, so he knew he was gonna get screwed over.
Yeah.
And then the scene where Agu like kills that dude, Strika kill that dude, like that guy's or that guy that he was like, I'm a bridge builder, I'm an engineer. He's like trying to tell him like there's value to me, like don't kill me, and they do it. But I like the thing. I mean, I like, but the thing I saw that made me feel kind of like human about him is he started throwing up after he killed him. Like they showed
Yeah.
that. So I was like, all right, cool. So he's not just some like bloodlust, like he's just gonna start killing. Because I'm learning to be in the movie. Remember, we've
Yep.
trained ourselves, and I'm trying to be like, this is the decision he made right now. I might know the ending or might not know, but I'm gonna stay where I'm going with it. And he does. He does. You just said he has to finally open up, and they're like, and it's also like, like that lady's telling him, and she doesn't know the thing about what he's gone through, and he's supposed to open up there. It's really hard, you got to connect with somebody else, and that's why that guy the commandant, like at that retreat, he's his version. He's like a nice guy, but he's not the way he was because it's not war. They're learning.
Yeah.
You fight with pen and paper, pen and paper, and not guns. Um, what I was gonna say something, but I'm watching the scenes of the friendship, man. Like it's like they did this movie justice and layered it. Oh, I was gonna say the ending though. If the ending didn't end the way it ended, it would have left me with like but I wanted. I can't believe I'm saying this. I wanted a happy ending,
Yeah.
and it's not a happy ending, but I wanted at least some decision or something where it shows me like he's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Because based off a book, yes, he wrote it, but man, like I don't know. Not all. I'm a big believer that not all movies have to be happy endings. You don't force them to be happy endings. This is one of the first times in a while where I'd be like, please end on a happy note.
Yeah.
Please, something, give me something. Like it's just too much, man. Because even when the kids are playing, it gets serious. Like you
Yeah.
can't ever be a child, and I think that's the best thing about being a kid growing up.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like whenever he did have a chance to be a kid for a little while. Like there was war going on around him, but it wasn't like in his face. He wasn't having to deal with it, like literally deal with it right in front of his eyes. Because
Yeah,
whenever they were doing the imagination TV and all that, like they went up to the guard post and everything, and that's where they got their money because these other you know other people from another country, they can afford to give you money for the TV. You know
That's true.
that what they took it to like their own personal guy, and he was just like, "Get this out of here! What are you
Well,
doing?"
and then I like they showed the tourist people.
Hmm.
That was like that little there's small little like a 2 second 3 seconds of it, but it's just like they're in a little bubble. They're like in a little bubble going past like checking this thing out, and they're like, what?
Yeah, dude,
Uh,
that's
did
it's
you
another crazy thing.
why okay, can you explain something to me? Why were the parents fighting and about the whole I didn't understand that. No kid, 70,000. I didn't understand that. I know they were like there's some kind of coyote or something, or
Oh,
why the
whenever
mom
they were getting out,
yeah, the mom, or what were they doing? Were they trying to leave the country, or what was going on there? I
yeah,
didn't understand that.
yeah, they were, yeah, because they were trying to get out because it was like right there, about to come out. So yeah, that's my best guess is yeah, some kind of, maybe one person had a car. It didn't look like everybody was, necessarily wealthy or
Related,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah,
They just kind of put them all together.
yeah, and so they were just packed. I mean, that car was packed to the brim.
Yeah, dude. Did you think that he was gonna see his mom again?
I had hope,
Yeah.
but and he very well could have, but the more the further you got into the story, you were just like you just lost a little bit of hope every time
Yeah.
that you saw him do something.
And
That
even
was questionable.
and even with like showing the kids like why the kids it's really simple chain. You know why they become addicts, right?
What's that?
The kids why they're become there's why they become addicts because you understand why they do that, right? What happens?
Oh yeah, well then all the atrocities that you commit don't seem near as bad.
Well, just so you can block it out, block
Yeah,
out whatever. I mean,
exactly.
I
Yeah,
mean, him being him the comment on having the little session, thing, but
yeah.
also like just the way the life is showing itself on unravel or reveal itself that you have a kids like basically going to their dead bodies and just taking off what's on them, and then some of them have drugs, so then they get the drugs, and then they're like, well, I don't want to think about this, the brown.
Yeah.
Like, the kid even shows him at the end, like they did justice. They showed him detoxing. It shows him like it's a pain, man. They don't want to remember. Like when he walked out, he was like, "What like what just happened to me?" That's like it shows it a little bit of like not the scene, but it shows him, like when Stryker finds him here, he knows what happened. Stryker's already
Yeah.
like, "Nah, sorry, brother," yeah, but it's like that's what you don't want to think about that. So he's over there just doing heroin, I believe, or some kind of like
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not entirely too sure what
I
it
was
was.
like, they're smoking marijuana now. I was like, dude. I mean, it's they called it the ganja. I like the like. I mean, I thought that what they were doing, as just the war itself, the pressure it puts on it, and then like, even the thing about the suits really pissed me off too, is because like I'm like, these dudes are the ones making decisions and not even there, But it's also
Mm.
like you don't really want the commandant to be making those decisions, so it's like why are we at war? I like that they don't really tell you why they're at war. They're just at war.
Yeah.
There's no I never
Oh, because
understood.
it really doesn't matter. I mean, when you're getting down to it, whenever you have something like this, it doesn't really matter what's going on. I mean, you're gonna have these kind of casualties regardless.
So you're born into war.
Yeah.
So you're like a second, third generation war person, and then you move to the United States to make a better life, and then you come over here, and then we just talk crap about each other's soccer teams. I get it,
Right.
because it's the same, still fighting, but just playful fighting, I guess. Still battling,
Where
but
there's no life and, well, not as many life and death situations.
yeah, it's a this is not one of those like if this movie would have came out like in '92, holy crap, would have been a crazy eye opener.
Oh yeah.
This one now is just like I mean I think the fact that if it had the big star in it, if it didn't have Idris Elba, I wouldn't have really not
Oh,
to
I
say
wouldn't have picked it. I mean,
yeah I think I
let's
would
just
have
say that.
it would have gone through it, I think, but the fact that he's in it makes me really like, all right, let's put it through. He picks good material. Not to say that I'm not gonna pick good material, but I'm gonna take what I can get, and it's this low budget is definitely where I'm at right now, low budget. So judge accordingly. But let's move on, man. I'm gonna put on our number two movie. So I actually did a 5 hour binge.
Yeah,
Um,
because what is the first one's 2 and well, they're both around 2 hours.
yeah, but I had to do a 5 hour binge though because I was like Benjamin, you kind of picked two really dark movies in a way, and they're a
What?
little they hit a little too close to home. So I had to watch another movie kind of in between. Hold on, I got a little guy choking. I gotta go check on him.
Yeah, go for it. we are moving on to Concrete Cowboy. Uh, this is a really uh, interesting movie. It's it just came out on Netflix probably about 2 weeks ago, if that, and starring Idris Elba. And yeah, man, Concrete Cowboy. I was just
Did you
kind
give
of giving a little bit. Figured we could transition into that.
Did you give him
Um,
the IMDb?
no, I didn't give him the IMDb. I was waiting on you for that one, buddy.
Okay, cool. Like that's my thing. No, I was gonna say is like I actually after watching Beast of No Nation, I had to watch Clerks 2 for about 30, 40 minutes, man. That
Yeah,
movie, I like that movie a lot. Like I love Clerks 2, and it really kind of bounced me because I was like, dude, I have a feeling that this Concrete Cowboy is gonna be just about the same because I could already kind of tell, you know.
yeah,
So I was like, I need to watch something that kind of because the way this one leaves me, if it didn't leave me with that ending, that happy ending, then okay, like I was able to process it. But man, to go into that movie and then go into this movie, and we both have kind of like ties, kind of like to the stories of this. It's kind of like that's a little too much.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Clerks too. So it's on Roku TV right now. You can get little interruptions, but it's I know one on DVD too. But no, I put it on and then I went straight to like as soon as the I think was it 6 o'clock or something. I put it right on Concrete Cowboy and I was ready. One thing I got super excited about, I didn't know Method Man is in this movie.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
I was like, oh hell, Method Man
Playing a cop, no less.
playing a cop, you know. Let's see, my Netflix isn't going, but well, whatever. Let's see, get it going. But no, Concrete Cowboy. Let's get it going. Let's get it started. Sorry, I was gonna try to play in the background. Concrete Cowboy 2020, rated R, 1 hour 51 minutes, drama.
Arr.
What's up?
Sorry, R.
R. April 2nd, 2021, when it was released, so just recently.
Yep.
Sent to live with his estranged father for the summer, a rebellious teen finds kinship in a tight-knit Philadelphia community of black cowboys. Director Ricky Stubb, oh, like Stubb Barbecue, Stubb, and Ricky Stubb and Dan Walser were the writers. What did you want to open up with this one about?
Man, so really good movie. I mean, it had like it had all those, I wouldn't even say cliche, but it hit all those moments that you would hit in like Boys in the Hood and Don't Be a Menace and stuff like that, where you just
So
you get that feel, but it brings you out of it too. Like it takes you in and brings you out, and it just gives a duality of it shows like, oh, not there's a means to an end for some of this stuff, and some of it is they did a good job at mixing all of this stuff together.
Dude, I like what you just said right there, man. Yeah, you take like a Boys in the Hood, like the algorithm or the blueprint of it, and just make it your own, and this is what it comes out with. Because you're right, it does hit those kind of story points, but you're never like they're not right in your face about it.
Yeah,
because even like the main character Cole, he does drug deals and you never see him.
Yeah,
you never see him do it, and that he's played by Caleb McLaughlin. Does a great job as Cole, and
he was in Stranger Things. That's what he was in.
He was in Stranger Things. I need to get into on that.
Have you not seen it at all?
No, just the first episode.
Yeah, you do. It's good.
Yeah. When you said Stranger Things DVD, I was like, well, I did see them at Half Price Books.
Well, it's also, I think it looks like a VHS, so it's
yeah.
right up your alley.
They have it there at Half Price Books, and I've been wanting to buy it, and I just want to get in on it because they're still doing seasons, right? Or no? 3 is the last one.
They are gonna have a season 4, but it's just not out yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So put it this way, I do want to give a shout out to the dude Smush, played by Jerome. Dude, that guy was in Moonlight.
Oh,
yeah.
Let's see.
I saw him right away, and I go, "Hey, look, it's the guy from Moonlight." Where is he from? He's from Brooklyn or something? Yeah, he's from Bronx, New York.
Now I watched that recently. We didn't watch that for the show, did we?
No. I
Moonlight.
watched it. I did it
Okay.
for a rewatch right now. You saw
Okay.
Moonlight?
Yeah. Yeah. It was
So
really good.
so we both seen that movie. This is comparable to Moonlight, but where Moonlight does it in like a 3 decade span or something like that. Like a
Hmm.
you see, this is kind of just the summer, just
Yeah.
like a one time frame. Things I picked up on this movie that I was hoping, and I kind of got what you get at the end. I love the way it ends too. Not the credits, like the end credits of this movie.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I think they show you these black cowboys, and I'm like, I think that's one of the original ones. And then sure enough, you find out that some of the actors are the original ones. So that's even good to know. This movie reminded me of being a Tejano, a Texan American, because because it's like, they even talk about it. They're like, yeah, we're black cowboys. And we don't talk about us. And I really started thinking about it. I mean, he says Lone Ranger, and like, who's that? And they're like, what? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I know who the Lone Ranger is. But I started thinking about that. Black cowboys makes a lot of sense. If we all came from Africa, we have to go from here. So we start off dark, and then we get lighter, and then we get darker again, and it fluctuates. But cowboys did have to be at least some kind of pigmentation, because they do say black or brown. Cowboys were dark skinned. So I'm sorry to say, Ben, pale dudes wouldn't be able to ride horses for very, very long. But I started thinking about that. I was like, that's a really good way for me to look into it, because anthropology wise is telling me the skin's not meant to be like that kind of skin. But my skin, hey, I could be outside all day, and it just makes me bronzer. But I was like, how did we miss black cowboys? And this is Philadelphia. That's the crazy thing. Like, this is like a city, an urban city. This also has gentrification. I've lived through a gentrification, which I don't know if I'm still going through it. I think it, for the most part, it's done. But I just think now things are just going up in prices just because it's the trendy thing to do.
Yeah.
But like seeing Austin go through this whole like gentrification thing, and then watch this movie, I was like, dude, yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you miss it because nobody talks about it. It's like they said in the movie. I mean, it gets whitewashed. Um, it really does. And it gets glorified in different ways and by different people, especially if you have Westerns. And the whole thing with Westerns too is like, what are they based off of? Japanese movies anyway.
Yeah.
Like the Magnificent Seven is like a samurai movie. So, and even that, I mean, you're just replacing, you have Tombstone and you have Jesse James, and you have Billy the Kid. You got like 3 or 4 big outlaws, probably like universally known
Sundance
outlaws,
Kid,
stuff like that. Yeah. And um but you just you overlook you what was it, back in early Hollywood? I mean, you couldn't have a cowboy picture with a black man. I mean, that would just be the craziest thing in the world, that would you couldn't depict it the way it was supposed to be. And so you need to sell tickets. You have a craze that's going on, obviously, like you have those cowboy movies. And also everybody just thinks that cowboys are white guys, and then it's just a trend that keeps going. I mean, it just repeats itself, and probably not for not out of malice or anything, but just you just keep on going and doing the same thing,
And I'll say this: you're right about that time Hollywood, because it'd be something like a Blazing Saddle, if anything. That movie makes a lot more sense to me now when we talk in the grand scheme of things. As you get older, you start understanding. I mean, I don't the cowboy Indian. I'll still say that. I don't know if I don't ever use it. I just say we play vaqueros, like, But also where I'm from, Indios, we they say that too. Say it in Spanish. I don't know. I think I like that it's a unique niche, and they were able to bring it out in the light. So I wouldn't want to see a bunch of like movies like this now, because there'll be a horrible balance, or maybe there will be a balance. I don't know how that working. Probably have to do even.
Well, was he also in the Magnificent Seven? I know they did a remake of that.
I think he might have been. You know what I also wanted to bring up was that not at one time did I ever think of Little Nas until the Jordans got on top of the cow at the top of the horse at the very end. But not one time did I think of Little Nas. Not one time. So I wasn't feeling. What I'm trying to say is I wasn't feeling like this was meant for like because he's trending so bad right now because he's Little Nas, you know.
Is he connected to this
I don't
in some
know.
way, shape, or
I
form?
don't I don't think so, but just having, you know, like a openly gay black cowboy, which is
Oh
very,
yeah.
you know.
I
So me,
thought you meant, well, yeah, just because. Yeah, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you
That's
know,
not the first thing I think of whenever I just think of Old Town Road and his devil shoes. That's really it. And I don't.
well, I mean, you're seeing black cowboys here, you know, like that's
Yeah.
I didn't associate that with Little Nas. So I saw the Jordans because I was like, wait a minute,
Oh
he's
man, I tell you what, I can get you on to somebody I used to listen to back in the day, man. Cowboy Troy.
yeah, I remember that guy.
Look it up.
No,
Uh,
I know who that is.
but
Uh,
actually, I think he was married to one of my cousins. Oddly enough.
what,
Yeah.
dude? You got that's cool.
Yeah. No. But yeah, man, it's yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. I don't even really associate him with that. Like I said, I just heard that Old Town Road, and I don't really have
So
anything else.
so the let's get to the nitty gritty of this. What do you think about the father son relationship?
I thought it was good. I thought it was well, you know what I'm saying as far as good. It wasn't
But the
necessarily a good.
portrayals, yeah.
Yeah, the portrayals were very well done. You felt it, and what was it? You said Caleb McLaughlin, who plays
Mhm.
Cole. I mean, it was you did a great job at that too. I mean, that whole scene where he's telling him how he got his name is just like, let me name my son, and that was pretty awesome. Um,
That's a nice story, man. That was
it
good.
really is,
Your name's Coltrane.
and he goes in, and whenever he's first born, he's in prison, and so he comes out, and he's a well, concrete cowboy is essentially what it is, man.
Well,
He goes to that, and that's another thing too. I wonder if he was, obviously he knew about it whenever before he went to prison. I wonder what kind of drove him to this life afterwards. If there was,
well,
I'm just kind of curious on that little story too.
I think just something about the calming. You see the part where Cole gets in the like right he gets in the Bo's staple by accident, and he's able to calm him down, and that's what connects him with Bo.
Yeah.
There's something about that. Even like children with autism, they connect really well with horses. You know, horses are
So
pure.
do you think something similar happened to
Yeah,
Harp?
I think it's like it's a soothing thing. It's a way to cope. I mean, being a minority, they don't teach us how to like cope with stuff like that. And once you find something that you can attach yourself that you care about, you know, he has
Yeah.
the horses. I mean, I do gardening. You know, there's certain things that have life in it that doesn't necessarily have to be another individual. You know, you care and nurture for things that can actually take care of an individual. A horse, you know, garden, anything. You know, learning mechanics or something. You know, it's. But I think the fact that the way I don't know, man. It's like the not having support in a community too is another thing, and sometimes those kind of. I mean, you have that whole thugged out other half of the community that's in there. That's Philly, you know.
Mhm.
I don't really call it thugged out or low poverty. I don't know what it is. Like nowadays, what we would call that.
Just a street oriented.
What it lower income. I
It's
don't.
I mean, yeah, you normally typically see it there because you can take advantage of people that want money but can't seem to get it. But yeah, I mean, like, just that, honestly, what it is drugs. I mean, whenever it's, by and large, it's going to be, coke, heroin, whatever's illegal. It's not even necessarily drugs. Whatever's legal that they can get their hands on. I mean, there's always going to be that underground.
I think it's more the image though on that
Yeah.
part too, man. And I think that's when what do you call it? Harp says, "I used to be like Smush until he did the nickel."
Yeah.
Like I honestly think that's just their. I mean, Smush. Just talk about him for a second. He actually wants to get out. He has a plan.
Yeah. No.
And he's ready to go. But he's just the way he does it, the way he goes about
And then
it.
as soon as you hear that, you're like, oh, well, you'll probably die.
Yeah, you're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
I mean, just the way
we've seen that go down a million times before.
the way he got shot is the way he got killed. It was just that the dude rolls up in a hoodie with a bicycle and shoots him, you know. And they even say some kid they paid Leroy L says they paid some kid to shoot him. And remember we watched it in Only God Forgives. They use that kid and then they kill the kid. So it's like like a vicious cycle. It's just the way it's the way. Yeah. I mean grew up around stuff like that all the time. I mean, I did. And when you don't, I don't know. I mean, you don't see it. I mean, not like that harsh, like in your face. Like it's just, I don't know, poor parts of town. They, like this reminded me of East Austin at one point, and East Austin doesn't look like that anymore. So I don't know. When I first got to Austin, I was like, just the left side and the right side, and they're two different hemispheres. They ran one way, and the other way ran another way, and not east versus west. There's east and west, and then west moved into the east, and then they wanted it that way. I see it now in the grand scheme when we watch these movies, or you watch something that like back in the day, that as you see it going through something 10, 15 years ago that passes, you see it, but when you go, someone's got a job, you get misleading. And I mean, I'm starting to see more or less. I've been watching a lot of, I don't understand why people are the way they are. We accept it, but it is a lifestyle, the way they have it. It kind of gives you a good in-depth.
I'm just kind of curious. I wonder how old he is actually.
In real life.
Because I mean, what's that?
We don't do that as minorities. No, we don't do that. So I mean, I just feel like they're trying to gentrify Texas at the moment. So and I'm not saying that I'm defending it or anything. I'm saying, but that's what it feels like. So all these stories,
just double check.
Hey, we just watch it. I'm like, for me as an independent, I want to know, like, how much does it take to make that, and if I can make money.
Okay, so you're looking for return as far as a business aspect, and that other stuff just.
Hello, this is CJ from Side by Side Movie Podcast. I just wanted to apologize for interrupting this episode. The original file of this recording was damaged. The Idris Elba episode, our recording was actually damaged. We had a full-length conversation on this topic, on these two movies, but the actual original recording was not recorded properly, or was downloaded damaged. So this is as far as I got. I do want to apologize for the choppiness and the incohesiveness at the end of the episode, but that's all we have, and I thought I'd just share it as is. So it's not going to make any sense at the end, and I do want to apologize for that. Next week's episode, we're moving on to Moulin Rouge, 2001. A poet falls for a beautiful courtesan whom a jealous duke covets. And then we also are doing another musical, La La Land, 2016. While navigating their careers in Los Angeles, a pianist and an actress fall in love while attempting to reconcile their aspirations for the future. So we're still doing the Ryan Gosling train, and we're doing La La Land and Moulin Rouge. We decided to do two musicals after this episode, and I do want to apologize for the Idris Elba episode. It just wasn't downloaded or downloaded damaged, so this is all we have. So we'll see you next week, and thank you.